heart attack, fast fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful laws and past. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, quite a bit of things have happened for Midoriya. Now, during the Forest Training Camp, as I will call it, arc, UA was destroyed. Muscular and All Might, they clashed. All Might came out on top and Muscular went to jail. However, All Might expended all of his power for the day and was taken captive by Midoriya, along with Eraserhead. Now, with that being said, the only surviving students from UA's Class 1A would be Bakugo, Tokoyami, Ochako, Froppy, Denki, and Jiro. The other students were dead or killed by villains, like Moonfish, Dobby, or other members of the League. Now, with that, Midoriya, he did then vanish one day. Tokoyami, he only remembers that being the last day he ever had contact with his brother. And after this, he did go on to go to a different high school to become a pro. Now, many different people, they were skeptical about Tokoyami's relationship with his brother. No one really believes that two twin brothers can have a relationship as strained as he does with his own, brother. Usually those two twins would be always there side by side, one always with another. However, it was just him alone with Bakugo. Now, with that being said, we do then actually have Midoriya, who, whenever I did talk about him after the time skip, was working for Tartarus Prison as a security guard. And he was walking down the hall as he was spinning keys in his hand. As we do pick up with Midoriya, at the age of 19. Now, Midoriya, he has been very busy, and he does have a smile on his face. Today, the plan is going to go down. It's finally going to happen. The man who killed or who ordered the hit on his parents is going to die today. And he couldn't be in a better mood. And then there actually is, whenever Midoriya does go on his lunch break, where he's sitting there and he's eating the meal his wife prepared for him. Now, this was quite peculiar, since you do actually have somebody on Midoriya's right being a blonde man, and a few other people sitting across from him asking him about his smile, and asking if anything good's happened to him today. Oh, nothing. It's just, I'm a bit happy. My wife gave me some good news. Really, Matt? What would the news be? Well, I mean, I really don't know how to tell you guys. No way. I mean, we don't know yet, but we're pretty sure. Are you serious? That's good news, man. Do you have names picked out? No. We're still kind of freaking out about it. Come on, guys, Matt's still in shock. The blonde-haired man to his right would say, as the man does explain, to give the guy some room to breathe. Now, with that, Midoriya, or Matt as I will call him as his alias, does finish his lunch break and head back to work. As Midoriya and this blonde-haired man, which I'll be calling David, he does get pulled to a side for a second. As Midoriya, he would hand something off to David, a small little disc that he needs to put in the security monitor room. David taking it and saying, "Thanks. Don't worry about it. Thank you for helping me with this. Don't worry about it. You've done a lot for me over the years. It's the least I could do." You sure about that? So, twice. How many times do you think you'll have to split? I don't know. Let's find out. Maybe it won't have to be as many as last time, or the time before that. Yep, just remember, keep your eye on that bracelet. But I would say, as he does go walking down the hall and spinning his keys. As Midoriya, he does whistle. Now, twice actually would split. And as he does go walking down the hallway. As the other version of him does turn around in a 180 and walk the other direction. Now, we do actually have twice. Who he does go to the security room that is on the very bottom floor. As he does get out of the elevator before, or Midoriya would get out of the elevator before him, and he would continue down. As Midoriya does go through security checkpoints and actually confirm his identity. Now, after this has happened, Midoriya does head through the solitary confinement area, where prisoners are held in rooms that are not only so heavily secured and underground, but they have reinforced glass, since these prisoners cannot be left without 24-hour surveillance. Now, Midoriya just walked down the hall, and he actually just comes to a glass wall before turning directly to look at it. As he does ask prisoner 1573-8278 if he's having a good day today. As the man, he actually does stop doing push-ups on the ground before jumping up to his feet and walking over to the glass. As he does stare directly at Midoriya, who does just stand there with his hands folded behind his back. And he does then just spit directly at the glass, as Midoriya does not flinch. Funny. You're not the usual guard. I do understand that, sir. Now, please, would you be able to inform me of something? Now, as this is going on, we do cut to the security room, where dozens of people are monitoring the situation all around the prison, along with doing rigorously routine security checks to make sure not one single prisoner has moved an inch or gotten out of their cell. If someone so much as sweats the wrong way, they will know about it within a second. Now, twice does walk into the room, and he does walk directly over to a security terminal. As he does ask one man to make sure the camera in this sector of the prison is currently still working and active. Now, as he does ask the man this, he does go to slide something into the USB port. As he does do this, the cameras all of a sudden do begin to start freaking out and messing around. As we do cut back over to All For One and his current crew for the job. All For One telling a hacker that he has hired that should give him access to all of Tartarus' systems. To which the man does remark that it's insane how much processing power that little thing he made has. It's like somebody shrunk a supercomputer. Now, All For One would remark that that's exactly what they've done. And the man is even more impressed, as he does currently shut off the security system for about 5 minutes. Now, as this has happened, Tartarus Prison is on high alert, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. The moment the alarms begin to blare, you do actually have Midoriya, who, his smile grows even wider. Now, Pro Heroes, they have been alerted to this incident and are currently on their way. As we do cut to Midoriya, who, he does go to actually bring up his hand and take off his hat. As he does do that, he does actually then go to undo his tie. As Midoriya does ask the man if he remembers being involved with the Nightcrawler Pro Hero the night he was captured. Yeah, that Pro Hero. That one was a doozy. It's quite funny though. I ordered the kill. It wasn't very much from the goons I sent apparently. No. That's not what happened that night. I'm sorry. What happened that night was 2 of your men caught them off guard. They shot Hisashi Midoriya directly in the face. As for the wife, I don't really know very much about what happened. The son, however, one of the 2 survived. One was gunned down and heavily injured and had to go through extensive physical therapy to recover his spine and just to walk again. The other one, Midoriya bringing up his right hand. As the man does see, Midoriya's skin, it looks normal. It doesn't look scarred or, well, hurt at all. Midoriya then saying that the other son, he did receive some serious injuries. And he did receive a scar and burn marks because of a fire his men set. Impressive. Sounds like you have intimate knowledge of this knight. Are you a fan? No, I know because I was there. Now, the man does actually go to look upwards with his head a bit to Midoriya, as he does at least keep his eyes on him. Ask him what does he mean by that. My name is Izuku Midoriya. It's a pleasure to meet you. Now, the man, he does start to smile and laugh, as he does just say that that's a funny joke. As Midoriya, he does still just stand there, and the man just stares at him. As Midoriya, he does actually go to do something with his quirk. All of a sudden, Midoriya's body shines with bright light, as he does go to step forwards. Now, Midoriya, he walks directly through the glass, and he does catch the man off guard. Now, as Midoriya does do this, he actually does come face to face with the man for the first time. As Midoriya, he does do just one simple thing. He cracks the man across the face as hard as he can with his right hand. And the man, he does go falling backwards into the wall, as Midoriya does begin to beat the ever-loving fuck out of this man. Midoriya proceeds to, for the next 3 minutes, beat this man within an inch of his life. And after that's all said and done, he just rinses and repeats. Every single second this man does feel, Midoriya just spends it beating his ass, along with casually explaining what he's going to do to him next. Now, the man is quite surprised, to say the least. This boy is literally all talk and all bite. He has got the power to back up his words. And it just makes it even more questionable as to why he's here. As we do have Midoriya, after he's gotten done, smashing the man's head into his metal toilet bowl, explain to him exactly what's going to happen next. Now, Midoriya, he does casually go to wipe off his hands, as he does look down at his watch. He still has 10 seconds remaining. as Midoriya does go to bring his hand down and put it directly to the man's throat. As he does tell the man, this is for Hasashi and Inko Midoriya. Before the man all of a sudden does burst into a bright light. And Midoriya, he does turn and walk back through the wall. Before picking up his hat, his shirt, his keys, and his security baton. As this is all said and done, Midoriya, he does go to put on his shirt, along with his hat, as cameras do turn back on. And Midoriya, he does go to button up his shirt, as he actually does turn to his left and look to see what's happening. The man who just murdered his parents is slowly being turned inside out and cooked alive. The first 3 seconds are going to be the worst pain you can ever imagine. Your nerve endings are going to be burned off. Then you're going to forget how to breathe, since all the oxygen in your lungs is being ripped out. Then, not only would you struggle to breathe, your lungs will basically rupture and explode. Afterwards, not much else is really left up to the imagination. It's more or less your heart stops, your eyes melt, and so does your brain. Now, Midoriya, he does watch this with thorough enjoyment, as you do actually have security guards who do come running up, as a lot of them do point guns directly at Midoriya's back and tell him to put his hands up, since he's currently under investigation for suspicious activity. Now, Midoriya would put his hands up, as he does turn around and his co-workers do see his face. Matt? Hello. Do you know what happened here? This wasn't you, right? No, it was me. What? Why? Easy. He deserved it. But your wife, your unborn kid. Only half of that was true. I do have a wife. I love her with all my heart. I've known her for almost 5 years, give or take. And we've been married for about 2. The kid part, though, that was the white lie. Along with the name Matt, it's never really suited me. Now, you do actually have Light Shadow, who does appear directly behind the security guards, as he splits into 2 and then goes in for the attack. Him smashing the guards and incapacitating them into the ground, as the men do look on in shock. Midoriya walking past them as he does just toss his hat off his head and say that the name's Izuku Midoriya, and it's an honor to be back. Now, Midoriya, he does then begin to make his way through the prison. Let's see. Twice needs about a few minutes to get out of here. Then I need to get to Sector A, which would be at the very bottom. And the power generators for this place would be at about there. Now, Midoriya, he's thought this all through. Around this time, pro heroes are already on the bridge for Tartarus Prison. And you have pro hero Tokoyami, Midoriya, who, him and his allies, are currently setting up a barrier, since the only way off of that island is through this bridge. Now, with that being said, Twice, yeah, he's gone back to blending in with regular security, as they're all rushing down to try and take down this rogue security guard. Or as they believe, somebody got into his head, and he's currently being puppeteered. Now, that is the reason why many of those people are left in solitary confinement. Some of them you aren't even supposed to look at. Others, you aren't even supposed to smell. Now, Midoriya, yeah, he's taking down everybody so casually. Along with that, he's just moving around so slowly? That being what people do think. As eventually he does get to the power room, and he does look at the feast in front of him. The generator in front of him is capable of powering this prison over 20 to 30 times over. And once he takes on this much power, yikes. This whole place is going to come down. Now, you do have Midoriya who does bring his hand up to his ear and inform twice that if he's going to leave, he's going to need to do so now. Along with Kirigiri being told to open the portal. Now, Twice does turn down a corner, and the portal does open, as he does go to step through it, inform Midoriya that he's in the clear. And if he really does want to just not use the portal himself. Oh please, this will make a much better statement, Midoriya does say, as he does bring his hands up and then clap them together. Before, electricity does begin to flow from his fingers. And Midoriya, he throws up his hands and grabs the Jinner with his power. As a massive amount of electricity and power does begin to flow into Midoriya's body. Now, Midoriya does let out a bit of a scream whenever this does happen, as we do cut to outside, where the current ranking #1 hero, Lemillion, does reside, as he's trying to inform everyone about what's happening. And he does want to explain to them all that this is going to be okay. The situation is all perfectly and well on under the moment he does say that the ground begins to shake. And the bridge itself does begin to start moving a certain way, as everyone does look over to Tartarus Prison, where Midoriya, he does currently have Light Shadow, who has absorbed so much power it's been able to turn into a giant bird. Or, if you would have to say something about it, a giant phoenix. Now, as this does happen, Tartarus Prison is collapsing in on itself, and many of the people here are dying. Now, you do have Midoriya, who, he is currently just making this spectacle. And the moment it does happen, you do actually have everyone who's staring on. Some people are being blinded by the sheer amount of light being produced. However, those who still can see, or are able to at least look at what's going on through glasses, all they can really tell you is it's just a giant white bird. And you do have Tokoyami, who knows exactly what's happening here today. As he does go to rush in, he wants to understand what's happening. He wants to understand why he's doing this. Now, just as quickly as the bird appears, it does vanish. And you do have Tokoyami, who, he's left there puzzled. Not even sure what to say, not even sure what to do. As the bridge to Tartarus Prison starts to collapse. From the prison to directly where Tokoyami is, it's beginning to fall. And people are starting to evacuate. If this part of the bridge comes down, it's going to be troubled as well. And they'll get pro heroes who can at least get in there from the sky to look and see what's happening over there. Now, with that being said, I do believe that this is a good point to leave off of. And I do hope you guys enjoyed.